Yeah. Okay. So this is so amazing. I met Sarah years ago. She was looking for guest speakers for a Youth of Africa event, very educational, very professional. And I love participating in that event. I think she was the one that organized it. And Sarah does that. Sarah works for the youth and she is inspirational. And we're happy to have Sarah here with us today. And of course, Tammy is such an amazing business partner, interviewer, and co host here in this Unlocking in Freedom. And we want to say hello to our people that are always watching live. Aika is one of them. Welcome, Aika. We love to have you here live today. And for those that are watching the replay, just share your comments and excitement. Even ask questions to Sarah because she's going to be in our group and she will be see those questions later. And we're excited to be here today, another summer day here in Unlocking Freedom in Nature. So go ahead, Sarah. We know you have a wonderful story. You said you're a mountaineer. You like to go to the mountains. Tell us more about that.
Oh yes, oh yes. So, first of all, I am born here in Kenya, and I'm actually born in a mountainous area. That is the area around Mount Kenya. I mentioned Mount Kenya is the second highest mountain in Africa. So, um, from where I was born to the mountain is like a 40 minutes walk, but really, I didn't start the hiking and the mountaineering and just loving nature until I was a bit, older in life, and until I had started working and all that, and just getting to the city, getting to the hustles and bustles of the city. It is after that that I started my journey in the mountains. And I love being in a space of coaching because that is where it all started. And I have worked, just a little bit of background, I have worked in employment for some years. And then after that, I started seeking, the way you feel that there is more to life than what I have, really. This thing of 8 to 5, 8 to 5, 8 to 5, and then I'm living from paycheck to paycheck. I started really feeling there's really more to life than what I have. So I started seeking somebody who can point to that. There's always, I know that there is something great in me that I know I can't point a finger on. And I started getting into personal development programs. That is where I got into coaching. And as part of coaching, one of the programs was that we have to climb mountains. We have to go and engage a physical daunting task, because when you climb a physical mountain, I mean, there are so many other mountains to climb in life. So it's kind of, gives you the strength to be able to know that you can climb any other mountain in life. So that's how I got into mountaineering, and I got to love it through engaging in coaching programs that would have, maybe the last program is we have to climb a certain mountain. And then now I said, I'm not going to stop just because the program has ended. I'm not going to stop my mountaineering here. I love the mountains because I love the silence, the breeze, the birds chirping, because I don't get that from my apartment in the city. The birds chirping, I just love that. It just gives me some sort of healing, some sort of, I'm able to think, I'm able to focus. Sometimes when you are hiking, you're climbing a mountain, it gets to a point where you're climbing alone. You started as many of you, but you're climbing alone. You take time to think, and you're surrounded by just the branches of the trees. I just love that. And it gave me some form of healing and some form of tranquil that I really needed for me to focus. So my journey for mountaineering started there. And today I take droves of people from the city to the mountains, and I love it.
That's
So,
awesome. I love climbing, and I get the same feeling when I'm out there. We took our grandkids on a hike last week around a lake, and you're climbing up that hill. But like you said, even if you're together in a group, you're still individually doing it because it's depending on you climbing.
Yeah.
You're listening, focusing on the different animals and birds that are surrounding you, and the different, plants, trees, whatever's there. So that's amazing. I love the fact that you're taking people out.
I felt your passion, Sarah. I felt your excitement and even a shift in energy. And I have a question because you said something very important. You said that there's more to life than what? So you said something, and if you can fill in the blank, what was happening in your life at the moment? If you don't feel like you need to share, details, that's fine. It's just like, what was lacking? What was missing? What were you missing out of life that then you decided to take on hiking and mountaineering?
Oh my God. You know the time when you feel I got into a job, and when I got into this job, I knew I got into this job for to adult. You know what we call adulting, to pay the bill. So I was getting into this job as a strategy because I knew there is just something more than this job. It doesn't fulfill me. It doesn't make me feel whole. I know there's so much more that I have in me that I'm not able to bring it out. And that is why for me, coaching is very important. You need somebody who sometimes can be able to call things out of you. I couldn't tell what that was, but I knew I was more brilliant than people thought I am. I'm not able to bring that brilliance out. I'm not able to bring that thing that I feel is great and special and unique in me out. And it is depressing. It was really depressing. So you just get into a work setup, a corporate setup, and you subscribe to status quo. And I really, really did not like it. So I would keep on searching and looking. So anytime I see there's a meeting in town, maybe somebody is speaking about, I'm seeing it's a flyer. I've just seen a flyer, like the way flyers, somebody would just share their flyer. It's a program maybe on personal financial management. I would go. I keep going. I paid a lot of money, I think, just searching until I found, oh wow, this is it. And it was a personal development program, and I would feel lost really working, and I would sometimes I'd wake up and look at the place where I was working and feel I don't belong here, but where do I go?
Yeah.
And I know that many people were there. I would
I get
sometimes
it. I get it. Like
yeah,
you were feeling suppressed. You were
yeah,
feeling that you could offer more to the world and to life
exactly.
and to others and to your community. Well, that's great when that desire awakens from within
And you
you.
see, the depressing part, Lori, is that now you don't know how to bring that out. You don't know how to bring that out. You don't know. So that's why I was searching, and I was really searching. And I'm at least I thank God that I was able to get somebody who could point that out to me. And today, when I look back, I think, and I was able to make, I was able to make the jump actually after some time. I went through the programs and now launched, and I got into it because I realized actually I have always seen people come to me with issues and with problems, and I've always helped them, and I did not know what that was. I've always been called by the HR, please be the one to train our new people. And I loved it. I didn't know that I was actually preparing for what I'll
You
be
were
doing for
ready.
like
You have the natural gift. And I love how you say that you share your journey, Sarah, because it just goes so well with what we are and who we are, right, Tammy? Unlocking
Yes.
freedom in nature. It sounds from this suppressed chain, you were kind of tied up in chains. You went free, right? Now realizing that there was more to life, and when you started hiking and all this started to awaken.
Well, it just shows how
Mhm.
much nature it helps us, and when we don't even realize it, there's like so many studies out there that show just spending out time out in nature, how it really helps us and it frees us. It helps us to think, because maybe it's because you're focusing on the other stuff, but I don't know. It's like you get a chance to talk to yourself, talk to God or whatever. But it's just freeing, and it's challenging at times too. Or like the scenery, it's like where I took the kids on a hike is one of the places that we plan on taking when our guests come to our retreat up here in North
Yes.
Idaho. But I didn't go on this one path I had never gone on before. And I was like, well, I can't take people on this path if I've never been there. And I was like, come around the bend, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize the stream ran through here, and it's a large stream with the bridge and stuff. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. And I was like, oh, what a nice surprise. I love, and every time you go out in nature is always a nice surprise, right?
Yes.
This time of year, it's like there's all the baby birds and stuff. I mean, I don't know how many baby birds I have saved that, you know, have fallen out of nest. You know, you're like
Oh.
trying to mow and you're just like, oh no, you can't be there. And you scoop them up and put them back in their nest. But it's interesting. So I thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing that. That's incredible. And I love the fact that you take the time. It's an awesome journey. And I also want to shout out, thank you, everyone who's here.
Eric Alikpala, and then KLS. Fuerte's here. Like I said again, Aika. And thank you so much. Eric is from Arizona. And if you're still watching, Eric, if you want to comment on how is the difference between, I'm sure, Tammy's hiking experience, and Eric shared some pictures the other day hiking in the desertic area of Arizona. Very arid, very rocky. And it's just so fascinating to see the difference in landscape, right, between area and area. However, it's still an amazing experience. And I see Arnold, Cecile is here with us too. And Aika is saying, Sarah, thank you for sharing your great story. Is there anything else you want to share?
I want to see some of Sarah's pictures posted to our page here later this week,
Yes.
Sarah.
If you have
Do you
pictures.
have any photos of your hike up the mountain and stuff that you go to?
Oh, I have so many.
We want to see some of them.
I have so many. Maybe I will share later. Yes, I can share later because even next week I know. Yes, because even next week I know I have a hiking. I mean I'll be hiking, so I have so many of them. And I mean, you know, not just hiking, but I've also done. I also love bungee jumping. The other day I was in Nepal, and I went and did the second highest bungee jump. It's in Nepal.
Oh,
and
that's right. I saw you.
I saw you.
Thinking she's crazy.
You were like in a swing, right? Up in the heights. Yes, you have to please
I
share those
applaud
pictures.
you.
Yes,
You were so brave. Tell us about that experience.
yes, I did. There's this giant swing. There was a giant swing, but for me, the biggest thing was, it was the bungee jump, really. And it's in a place called Kushma in Nepal, very, very far from capital, from Kathmandu. And for me, it was part of exploring nature in Nepal, because it's a nation of mountains. It's a nation of mountains. I didn't manage to go to the Everest or to see that area, but I went for the bungee jump. And I went because, one, I didn't realize how much I have a fear of heights. I've always thought I'm good until I went there and I realized I've not been to heights. So
my hands are just sweating right now, just to think about it, Sarah. My hands are sweating.
So when I went there, and I went and I did a building. I went to a building. I think it's a very, very tall building there, and then you have to go and walk on glass, like you're seeing. You can see the bottom very, very far. And I realized, no, I have a huge fear of heights. So I told myself that I'm going to do the bungee jump in a bid to just overcome that fear, because it was real. I couldn't walk it. I took a lot of time, over 2 hours, just trying to walk, to put a step there. So I said, I'll go to Kushma and do the bungee jump. And telling you, it was a whole experience. And you know what happens, Tammy? For you to do a bungee jump, I think they make you sign.
That waiver.
Yeah, you have to say. So, you know what? At that point, the point for signing was, I mean, I did it. I was like, okay, fine, I did it, because the person who was taking me is a friend of mine. He has done the bungee jump 8 times. So, you know, it was easy until everything was easy until I got to the edge. Oh my God. That's the defining moment.
So what happens? What happens when you're on the edge, but you're already tied up and started the process, or you can back out at that point?
Oh yes, of course, you're already tied up. You know, those people, I think they're called to, they're very well trained on how to encourage somebody, but you know, you're still looking down and you're saying, am I jumping to my death? Am I dare really sign my life away? These are strangers I'm entrusting in my life, first of all. You know, so you start thinking about all that. These are strangers, for God's sake. Like my life could end in a moment. And down there is the Kushma River, very, very far. So at that moment, you know, I'm just telling they were encouraging me. I love the fact that they encourage you, because if that encouragement is not there, I don't know if I was gonna take the jump. But they really, really encouraged. And I think I was also telling myself, this is the moment I overcome. This is the moment I overcome the fear. This is something great, you know? And I started thinking about, because I made sure that I watched other people who were jumping and the kind of fun they were having when they are swinging down there. They've already made the jump. But let me tell you, when you're at the edge, it's not easy at all. You really have to face the fear. For you to overcome it, you face it. And then you grow.
How? Okay, so yes, how? First of all, I'm intrigued to know how these strangers, like you say, but sometimes that's
Yes.
what happens in life. And hey,
Yes.
we are all coaches here. The three of us are coaches here. And
Yes.
what a loved one cannot accomplish with you because whatever biases or no, stop nagging me, a stranger, like Sarah says, that sees your
Yes.
potential. There's a stranger there that have seen millions and millions of people going through the same irrational fear. Maybe it's not irrational for us.
I don't know if it's irrational.
But okay, it totally makes sense to have that type of fear. It's one of, I wonder if like the fear of speaking is a very big one too, and the fear of the heights. I wonder what, I don't know how right now, like which one scores ranks first. But it's irrational for them that are trained, have done it many times, and have seen people doing it and survived it very well. So I wonder what were keywords, Sarah, that helped you think, okay, I can do this. I won't be the last one, nor I'm not the first one. And how is that important? How can you liken that with a coaching client situation?
Actually, let me first say that the people who will help you even accomplish whatever dreams you're working on, family could be there, but you find strangers on the way. If, for example, let me even give a scenario. If you're going to the airport, you are going to fly maybe out of state or out of the country, maybe your family will take you so far. They'll drive you, they'll take you to the airport. Yeah. From there, you start getting into conversations with strangers. And you know why you're having conversations with them? Because you seem to be headed on the same direction. You're going farther with them than people who you know. The people who you know will only bring you, so far. Yes. So it is actually strangers, because you seem to be on the same path or direction. These are the people you're engaging in conversations with. So at that moment, my parents, maybe my brothers and sisters, were not gonna help me at all, because they are not with me on the journey. I needed somebody who was in the journey, and they were telling me, Sarah, you have come so far. Look how far you have come. Even getting here, you're very brave. You're a very, very brave woman. And those kind of words, they are the people I needed. Those are the words I needed at that point. And I knew very well I was not gonna get them from maybe people who I left back home. So sometimes it's important to leave and to know that and to start trusting, because most of the people who will help you accomplish dreams are not people who you know. They're not even people, maybe even family members. You get other people in life who you are on the same journey. Those are the people that will help you get there. And these people, if I didn't listen to them, really, because they were very, very encouraging. Sarah, you have come so far. Sarah, chin up. I'll never forget those words, chin up, because they wanted my chin to be up so that I don't look down. Because if I look down, I will. So chin up. Yes, they told me chin up. So when your chin is up, there's a level of sharpness and alertness you get, and a level of confidence you get. Yeah. And then they told me stretch your hands because you're gonna fly. So I'm flying. I'm not falling down. I'm flying.
Oh, I love that.
I
I'm
love
flying,
it.
I'm not falling. Chin up, and
I
we've come
love
so
your
far.
I just loved your analogy. I mean, I loved how you explained how the airport, because it is everyday life, or when we're trying to achieve stuff. So thank you for that. So is your next adventure going to be skydiving?
You know what?
When I was younger, before I had my head injury, I had no fear of heights. I would go up on the highest places. I'd help roof on this, two-story roof, no problem. Now, I mean, I will go up there, but I'm more hesitant, and it takes me a lot longer. But Because some of those trails, like you said, when you're looking down at those cliffs, or when I see those pictures, like you said, of the glass floors looking down, I can't, or even a glass elevator you're looking down, I'm just like going, I don't really like this anymore. So bravo. I am so proud of you, Sarah, for doing that.
Yes. And what would
Yes,
you
and
tell your clients now? There's from your own experience, with your own self-doubts and things like that, and fears, people are telling me, no, Lori, they're not irrational, it's very rational fear. I'm like, okay. Just those expressions, chin up, like, hey, look up or look forward in life instead of in the past or down. That's awesome. And then you've come so far. And that's funny you say that your family relatives take you to the airport, but then the passengers in the airplane are going the same direction as you. I love that, because even in loved ones or partners, family, they don't see, and they're not like-minded with your dreams as a business owner, with your dreams as a coach, with your dreams as somebody that knows that have more within you to offer the community and society. And love that you're flying, not falling. Wow, that is powerful.
that was and you know what? You see, the truth of the matter, let me tell you, the truth of the matter is that I was falling head first. 256.
Wow.
I know. I've seen those jump. I saw your video. If we can find it, we need you to share it later on
Yes,
here.
we can share it. But the truth is that when he tells me you stretch your hands because you're actually flying, I stretched my hands and I didn't blink again. I stretched my hands and my chin is up and I just went. And you know what the fun is when you get to the bottom? This is what I usually tell my clients and anybody listening, that some of your greatest moments and breakthroughs, the first, for your greatness to come out, it is the fear that manifests first. It's the fear that will come first. It is the anxiety that show up first. Yeah. And I've also realized that sometimes if you're doing something that really will change your life and you don't have those feelings of the fear, the anxiety, the nervousness, the excitement, it's not coming out, I don't guarantee that's something that will change your life, because those things must come first. The fear must come first to make way for your greatness, because your greatness is coming out. You are breaking the limits. You are getting out of a certain circle, out of your comfort zones.
Yes.
It is the fear that will manifest first. It is the nervousness that will come. It is the anxiety, because they are making way. They are fleeing, making way for your greatness, which is coming out. So those kind of, let me tell you, about 2 minutes later, I was having the best time of my life, just swinging very near the Kushma River. I had the greatest time. You get to enjoy the swing when you're at the bottom. You enjoy the jump at the bottom. The fear, you will feel it, but don't let it stop you. Don't let the fear stop.
Sarah, I know this doesn't even compare to your experience, but the principles, though, are similar to our beautiful Natalia Nutting. She did a retreat last year in beautiful UK in the Isle of Wight. My biggest challenge for me to take upon, because of my biggest fear, is cold water. And the cold plunging is the trending, and the ice baths and things like that. So the water in the Isle of Wight was going to be very cold, and she challenged us to get in. And then she kind of said, oh, never mind, I know there's health issues and things like that, you don't have to do it. I'm like, forget it, you challenge me, I'm going to take this on, and I'm still going to get into those cold waters. I'm from the Caribbean. I'm used to warm water, and at the beach and things like that. So I did it. And I totally hear you. It doesn't compare to heights. It doesn't compare to what you did. But for me, that was big because I had gone through a horrible year with my physical body. I am always big in movement. It was a very challenging year. And for me to overcome that fear, because I've had already heard that the benefits of cold water for joints and things like that, I had a lot of reasons to do it. But even more so, and Eric, if you're still watching, I think you remember how important this was for me. I wanted to do it to prove something to myself, and to grow, to be challenged and overcome something that it was hard for me, or I thought it was, and that's where I come from when I say it's irrational, because after you finally do it, overcome the fear and do it, you're like, that was great. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I didn't want to get out of the water. And I did it twice on that trip. I did it twice. So it was, but I
Wow.
totally get it when you say that you were at the bottom and you felt like success. It happened. I did it. It's just so amazing. So thank you so much for sharing this story. We can't wait for those pictures. Post.
Oh,
That's what we promote in our group. You out in nature, you out on adventure, especially personal growth experiences like you went through, unlocking freedom and fears in nature like you did, Sarah. So
Well,
thank
and
you.
it's kind of like if you even look at if you're out to climbing a mountain, you know, it's like when you're looking up at the face of that mountain, you know, for some people that's a stretch, or it could be speaking. It can be just those, a simple fear to us or to others, but to us, it's not a simple fear, you know. But height is one, definitely that high, you know. But like you said, now that you overcame that challenge, it just makes you stronger because you see you're it's like, hey, I overcame that. Now I can overcome more challenges. So my question
I,
for you, Sarah, real quickly here is, how do you? You said you take groups on
yes,
hikes and stuff now,
yes.
and how do you get your groups together?
So what happens is I usually have coaching programs. Like even now, I was just finishing one of the programs. We had a class, and even after this, I'm getting into another one. So I always have programs, and no program ends without engaging a physical daunting task. We can decide to go and do um, whether it is zip lining, or, but mostly we do mountain climbing, but we just do some physical daunting tasks, something that actually challenges you and makes you overcome maybe a fear that you have, or just mountain climbing. Mostly it's mountain climbing. So you see, it is because it's a group. Maybe it's a group of 10 people, a group of 15 people, a group of 20 people. So we go together. So that basically how no program I do doesn't have maybe a mountaineering, a class at the end. And then now what we do, we usually go and do a class at the peak. For example, when we go and hike Mount Longonot, for example, is one of our mountains here, standing at about 3,000 meters above sea level. We'll climb, and then we'll do a class at the peak. We do a class at the peak for about 30 or so minutes. People eat, then we do the descent. Yeah. And
Nice.
yes, and it's usually very profound. And then now we let them, because we have been sharing some of these maybe lessons during the classes. Now we let them know, now from your climb, what are some of the lessons you learned? And now we compare that with life, because I said there are many mountains you climb in life. If you climb a physical one, it is even symbolic. It becomes something symbolic. You, first of all, you can tick your bucket list that I've climbed this mountain, but also it is symbolic that, you know what, this is what I need to do for me to climb this mountain, this financial mountain before me, or this maybe is a relationship mountain, whatever mountain it is. These are some of the things that I can do to get to the peak and overcome.
Oh,
So
Sarah, just to that, for example, the financial mountain, for somebody to
Yeah.
invest in their personal growth. Someone
yes,
is just commenting right now in our
I
group.
just saw that. I was like, to me, it's the payment issue. A lot of people are so afraid, right? They're like, oh, should I spend the money on myself to go on a retreat or join a course or hire a coach?
Coach.
But
What?
it's the best thing to do. We've all hired coaches here and mentors, the three of us, and it's probably the best money I've ever spent. And yeah, it's a fear because, you know, sometimes you're paying a lot of money out there, but it's what you get after. It's kind of like climbing the mountain, like Sarah said. It's you're overcoming a challenge, and for some people, money is their biggest fear.
What can you
yes.
say? What can you say to the audience on the edge of like deciding if to invest in themselves this way or not?
You know what? You are the greatest investment you'll ever make. You are that greatest investment. And why are you working so hard? Invest in your personal growth. Invest in your mental growth. But you're the greatest investment that you'll ever make. For me, when I look back, actually to the time when I was getting into personal development, I thank God I found that at that time. I found a coach at that time, because I don't know. I honestly, I can't even figure how my life would be if I didn't get into that journey when I did. The journey of personal development, just getting to find myself, getting to know even my purpose and all that. I have no idea where I would be today. So that's the greatest investment you can make on yourself. And let me tell you, you'll never regret. You will never regret. The greatest journey you make in life is a journey of personal development. And you know what? It doesn't end. It's a journey of
I
personal
love it.
development. Yes.
Totally agree with
And
you, Sarah.
that's the most interesting journey ever, because it has no end. That's the greatest and most interesting journey you will ever make in life. The journey of discovering yourself and what you have and what God has put in you is the greatest. You know, we like to say that the greatest, or at least what many people know, is some of the most exciting journeys that people have taken is maybe going to the moon, going to space, let me tell you, the most interesting journey you will ever make is a journey of personal development. Getting inside of you and getting to see the kind of wealth, the gifts, talents, the abilities, the intellects that God has put in you and bringing them out. That's the greatest journey.
Wow.
And you need help. Let me tell you, you need help. You need help. That's why you need coaching. So please, if you're somewhere you're thinking, oh no, that is gonna be too much, how much are you worth? How much are you worth? And by the way, let me tell you, even for teachers who taught you in elementary school or in high school, the teachers who taught you, you can never pay them. The price of bringing you up with knowledge, whatever you paid was just something small to the school. You can never fully repay those teachers. In fact, if you meet them today, buy them lunch and just do something for them, because those people, you can never pay them. So how much does it cost for you to bring out your best, the best version of yourself, was to bring out the greatest in you? You can never pay for that. So when I see a program, maybe it is $200 or $300 or $100 or even $1,000, if I can, let me even do a plan. I pay, because my the price of bringing out my worth, there's no price to it. There's really no price. I'll just say pay the small fee from the coach and get as much help as I can. But you can never really repay your teachers, even the ones who taught you in kindergarten, the ones who taught you in elementary. You can never really repay them.
Yeah, you're so right. You're so right. And there's infinite value, but there's no price, right? Like you were saying.
Value, it has no price. It has no price.
It's kind of like, and I'm sure you're going to answer this question the same way I would. Like Ike was saying, I think that is often holding people back from investing in themselves is because most of us have been taught that we put others first and we come last, which is an old belief system. But the problem is when we're always putting everybody else, it's kind of like the airline mask, right? If we're not fixing ourselves first, we're not going to actually help anybody. We might think we are, but we're not giving our best version. So,
and another thing is, have you ever seen a beautiful car and then you are going to get on in the car and it's messy and horrible inside, dirty and all that, and looks good from the outside? And what I'm trying to say with this is, if they put themselves, quote unquote, first, is with the superfluous things. It's so interesting. And again, I'm not against this, but when I hear about treatments for body improvement, like tummy tucks or lashes or nails, I mean, those are things that, yes, help with beauty if that's your thing. I'm not bashing it down, etc. I myself like to get my manicure, pedicure from time to time. But if that's the only thing you're wanting to work on to improve yourself, it's shallow and it just wears off. When you invest in your change, your personal development, that's internal, that nobody can take that away from you. It doesn't wear off. If anything, it polishes you from the inside out, and it grows better and better. You become a better person. Nobody can take that away from you. And that's what I mean with the car.
Well, and as a mom and as women, we have a tendency to always put everybody first. I know I do all the time, but that's why I hired coaches, and mentors, and you hang with the right people, because then you're getting that feedback and you're getting that positivity because like you said, women have a tendency, and some men do too, but we have a tendency to put others first. But we just need to take some time out of our own day, whether it's, going on a hike on a mountain, or writing in a journal, or praying and meditating, or yoga, or whatever it is. We just need to make sure we take some time for ourselves so that we can function properly, and we have then it gives us the right attitude that we need, and it will actually help. We become the light, like Lori said in that quote you posted the other day, yesterday, I think it was, as we become the light, without doing stuff for ourselves, or, doing stuff occasionally to help make ourselves better, our light's going to start going dim.
Right. And
That's
you in wanting to let your light shine is getting this person that has no preconceived notions about yourself, and sees you for who you are and where you're at and where you're supposed to go according to the potential that person sees in you, is priceless. Like Sarah is saying, in telling you, chin up, you've come so far, but see, here are your blind spots. Here are the things that you need to realize that you've been doing that probably will help. If you stop doing those things and start doing these new things, it's going to help you soar. Like Sarah was saying, you're not falling, you're flying, and then all the way to even soar. I mean, so high that then that's what you want. That's what you want in life. And that's what I've been wanting. And that's why we have spent thousands, Sarah, I don't know in their currency over there in your country, but here in the US, and I'm sure because we know each other because of the same program, Industry Rockstar, you have spent more than probably your currency, your country can even think in their head, like, wow, people pay that much. I understand, and I've been told coaching in some countries is not as regarded as something good, or like, why are you going to pay someone for counsel and advice? And I'm like, there's a lot of good reasons to do that, but it's more than hundreds, it's thousands that we have all paid to be better and to be as strong as you are right now. I feel your strength. I feel your power. It's not an unrighteous power. It's this power that you have of self-confidence and courage. And I appreciate you being here as our guest today, sharing your knowledge and your wisdom on how to overcome
so much
fears.
Knowledge. I love it. It's like, you were so valuable, and I hope everybody got all these golden nuggets Sarah has shared with us today, because it's such valuable advice for every age.
Yes, and actually, you see, the better you are as a person, this is the importance of investing in you. The better you are as a person, the better your business, the better even your marriage, the better your relationship with your children, the better the environment around you, the better your career, the better the environment around you. So work on yourself. And to do that, you actually need to have people who can help you. That's why you need work with coaches, work with mentors, people who can be able to point out. They can even give you some tough love and tell you, no, here you're sitting on your potential. You need people like that. And you know what? The other key reason, as I finish on why working on yourself and even getting coaching is very important, is for accountability. Accountability, because I know, for example, if you work somewhere, you have maybe a manager or a supervisor who you're accountable to, and because you're accountable to them, you perform. Where there is accountability, there is performance. Now, who holds you accountable for your own dreams you want to achieve in your life? For you owning that nice palatial house, beachfront you've always wanted to have. Who holds you accountable? Because if there's nobody who holds you accountable, sometimes that self-drive will not always be there. You need somebody who can actually cheer you up, somebody who can encourage you, somebody who can even push you, because sometimes you actually need a pushing. You need that kind of a person. You need somebody who can be accountable to for your own personal dreams and goals. And that is where coaching comes in. That's why we invest in coaching and in personal development to get better. So for me, for that reason only, to make sure that somebody is following me up, because sometimes I don't always have the the kind of power and energy and the self-drive. I need somebody to encourage me and just push me. I will pay for the coaching. And that is why this is so important, so that at least when we come, today is 2024, when we are looking at 5 years from now, you're actually proud of what you've been able to accomplish. You don't want to look back 5 years from now and nothing has changed. Your life is the same. You live in the same place. There's nothing that has changed. Actually, it's getting worse. You don't want to be that person 5 years from now.
Yeah, nothing will change if you don't take action. You know,
yes.
And I guess that's why Lori and I don't know if you had a chance to look at our website or not, Sarah, but we're all about adventures. You know, it's about discovering, experiencing, and transforming, because discovering is learning, and then experiencing, you have to experience it, experience different things in order to change. Kind of like you said on your bungee jumping, doing that whole thing. It was a discovery, an experience, and a transformation, right? You know, so it's going through those stages.
In a big way, it was.
Yeah. So the three of us, Aika is saying the three of us, is saying, I think let's see, all three of you are fabulous, strong women. I admire you all. Thank you for taking the time to share your wisdom, advice, and tips with all of us. You're welcome, Aika. We love you. We adore the fact that you are number one there in the audience, keeping us accountable. Like, hey, are you guys?
She does. I love it.
Yeah, so this is awesome. Thank you again for being here, Sarah. You've been amazing, an amazing guest, sharing amazing value here with us. So we are so thankful for you. And
we are thankful for all of our guests that even come on later. Share your comments, ask questions. We'll all each answer when we get a chance here. We thank you for that. And if you have not signed up for one of our adventures or retreats, be sure to. One of the things I was going to show is this here is a little car freshener.
So beautiful.
From Sea Pearl Candles is made that we are going to give to our guests that do come to our adventures. It's one, sign up. So it actually, even in 2 weeks later, still smells really, really good. And Sea Pearl Candles is all organic and is one of our affiliates that we have on our Unlocking Freedom page. And I forgot to mention this, but we have Earthing is actually donating stuff, and so is
the towel.
The towels that Erin does. She's actually donating stuff too for the people that join us in our adventures. So we appreciate each and every one of our people that help out. And we love it when you guys share your photos and your encouraging quotes on the Facebook page. We love that. Keep doing that. You guys all rock. You're all amazing and awesome. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks again, Sarah. It has been amazing. And just stay, and we'll talk here in a second. But thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Eric, for watching. Oh, you're welcome. Eric is saying thank you, Sarah, Tammy, and Lori. And like Sarah said, cheer up, fly high, and you've come so far. Keep going, okay? See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.